Can I rephrase then and ask you about your journey here? Obviously, it wasn't a long one.
Yeah, not a long journey, but going to school at St. Christopher's was really just Richmond was always in the backyard. The games were super easy to go to, and coaching staff was just really close, and I took a liking to them, and the liking to the program and the school. It was a very good academic school, much like St. Chris, and I just one day I thought, how cool would it be to play football in the same city that I grew up in, and the people who got to see me play all my life got to see me play in college.
Are there downsides to that?
When I'm first coming in, I thought, my mom was going to be on like my doorstep every day or something like that. But honestly, there's not really any downside. Richmond's campus kind of feels like it's away from the part that I'm used to being in when I was in high school. So I just try not to go home too much. It's easy to go home too much, but no, not really any downsides.
How about the spring so far? Sort of a new group of receivers if you go back 2 years, which is the last time you played. How's that developing with Joe and in the offense?
Yeah, well, I think we have a great leadership core with me, Leroy, and IB, and we got to come together last fall and get that like period of work in that sometimes, it was a little different than a fall camp. We didn't have the summer, but we got a lot of the young guys got reps, and I think we're really showing a lot of progress. Guys like Noah Washington, Josiah is obviously doing his thing, Quintarius, and walk-ons like Liam and Robert Rolfe, I think are really coming to be really good players, and I think the receiver room has even more room to grow and contribute to the team.
How much does your touchdown at Elon increase your confidence and your feeling that you're a prominent part of what Richmond's doing offensively?
It's always nice to get in the end zone, but there's 11 guys on the field. It's good to see Joe firing on all cylinders with everybody. Just if you looked at the stat sheet, we had multiple receivers with double-digit yards. I just think it's great to see that we're all really coming to do what we came here to do, and that's put forth a championship effort and work for the playoffs.
Thank you, Mr. Jasper. I apologize for misidentifying you.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Hey, Justin, that said, can you kind of describe that touchdown pass, the route you were running, kind of what you saw on that? I mean, it was your first catch of the spring and it was a touchdown catch. You can't do too much better than that.
Yeah, I was working to the flat, and we knew that the corner was going to cover the flat, and I out leveraged him. And when I turned my head, I was like, I hope the ball's coming because I think I might score. And Joe put it on me, and I turned around, and I thought I was going to get blown up. Did not. Ended up in the end zone, and the rest you guys saw it on the video, but it was a good time.
How does it feel to come right back and play them again? Obviously, the unintended bye week with JMU gives you Elon back to back.
It's a unique situation, but that game didn't really happen in our minds. We're 0-0 every week, and I think that Elon's a good team, and we're a good team, and if we do what we're supposed to do, I think we'll get the outcome that we want to.
Has the spring felt any different than the fall? I mean, was it weird at the start? Is it getting more normal? Just what?
It definitely was weird. Just, there's a lot of mental buildup when you don't play for 2 years and you come back for your first game. So I think a lot of us just had, you always have first game jitters, but it was like, first year jitters or something. I had never really, I went in that it was a little haywire for a second, but I think we're all getting into the rhythm now. And I think there's just a real sense of urgency that, we have 6 games and we got to make everyone count.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin, John O'Connor again here. So many coaches have spoken about the mental a part of not playing football for so long and the necessity of playing something this spring to get back in the swing. Could you address that and just perhaps think about what it would have been like not to play this spring as well?
Yeah, I think definitely all of us, coming from the summer, fall camp got canceled, hearing about the season getting canceled. You get a little bit of a training fatigue mentally because, you really put in the work for the fall. I mean, during the summer with your results of the fall in mind. And so, they're putting that off, we took a little hit, but I think everybody's done a really good job of staying focused and staying committed to our goal. And, just if we didn't have the spring, it would have been tough. Nobody wants to not play, but I think the guys would have done exactly what we did in the summer and, push through that and do what we needed to do.
Is it too early to consider playoffs? Obviously, it's a short season.
I think long term, we always have playoffs in our mind, but I think any game before the first game of the playoffs is too early to be thinking about the playoffs. We need to think about the next game because next game is a playoff game. Every game is a playoff game.
Thank you.
Justin, I'm assuming you're friends with Nick. And are you friends with anybody else on the basketball team?
Me and Nick played basketball, so he's definitely my closest friend on the basketball team.
Do you talk to – did it ever cross your mind to talk to him about what's it like to play an opponent twice in a season and so close? Because basketball does it all the time and you guys never do, or did that not come up?
It actually never crossed my mind, but thanks for the idea. That might be a good idea. But I think just going into it, we just come in the mentality of we haven't played Elon. It's nice to have the film so current that we can study off of. But mentally, I think we all just are trying to wipe it clean. And no score, no previous score matters, no previous play matters. It's all about next game, next play, next whistle.
How much of a disappointment was it not playing last week? Because it's like start and stop. You have worked so hard. And like you said, the buildup for this short season was so great. And then to realize that it can go like that. How jarring was it to hear that you weren't going to play last week, and what'd you do with the time off?
Yeah, I think it was tough. It was supposed to be a big game. We were looking forward to that game, but I think it gave us a chance to get our bodies back a little bit. And, mentally it's another pause, but I think at this point, I think we can handle any kind of pause. We're so used to the start and stop at this point that I think everybody's, ready to handle adversity. And I think we put in a lot of work this week and got a lot of rest in that'll help us in the future.
Thank you. Good luck Saturday.
Appreciate it.
Anything else? All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Hey, Tyreek, John O'Connor from the Richmond newspaper.
John, how are you?
Nice to meet you virtually.
You're good.
Could you talk to us momentarily about your journey from North Carolina up here and what about the University of Richmond was attractive to a guy with plenty of options down that way?
Yeah, just from North Carolina. I'm from a small town. It's called Indian Trail, North Carolina. I went to a small high school, Metrolina Christian. We were a small high school, fairly new football program. And just happened to send my film to Coach Huseman one day. I was actually committed to another school and just had my film sent to Coach Huseman. And fortunately, they offered me a scholarship to play here and took my visit and immediately fell in love with the campus, the academic part of it. And it's just helped me along the way. So.
Your huddle tape indicates that you were a prolific offensive player as well. At what point do you hit the fork in the road and have to go one way or the other?
I think it was when I got here, and really when I was getting recruited, they told me, we want you to play corner here for us, and I was all for it. I personally like defense more. Offense, you get a lot of recognition, but defense is definitely where I feel I belong.
And lastly, I wonder if you might address the youth in the secondary. You're one of the older guys back there now, very unusual situation, and how that's developing.
Yeah, definitely. Like guys like Malik Mustafa, Jabril Hayes, Amir Hall. They're young guys, but they're coming along very well. It's been good assuming this leadership role and just been able to raise them up and get them right within the program. So,
thank you, Tyreek.
Thank you.
Tyreek, do you ever cover Justin in practice?
Oh, yes, all the time.
He just talked about that touchdown pass and getting leverage and getting outside and hoping the ball was coming to him. I'm guessing that wasn't a surprise for you. Do you see that in practice quite a bit with him?
I do. So he's actually my roommate. We talk about these things all the time. And I guard him quite a bit in practice. So, and I personally think if I was guarding him, I would have covered him on that. So.
How much pride do you take in personally? Because Richmond, for its size, has had a pretty good track record with linebackers and guys in the secondary and guys that have really performed well. How much pride do you take in extending that, the secondaries, their stature?
Yeah, I take great pride in that. And I think as a defense, we always do. I know in the linebacker core, Tyler Jessler, Xavier Marshall, Phil O'Connor, Noah Holmes, Tristan Wheeler especially, we're all coming along. And in the secondary, we're all making plays on the ball now. And we take pride in just being a dominant defense, a physical defense, and just making sure we execute at a high level to make sure we perform better.
When we talk to the basketball guys and they play a team a second time in a season, we always say the team that lost the first game has the advantage because they know what to correct and they know what they did wrong. Is it going to be easier or harder to play Elon again based on what they know they might have done wrong last time?
I mean, I think it'll be a bit harder. I mean, we're approaching this game as if it was our first time playing them. I think the first time I've played a team twice was in high school. That's been over 3 years now. And it's a little weird doing that. But you got to just approach it as if it's your first time playing them. It's hard to win twice against a team who is a pretty good team. Elon's a great team. They have great players, and we have to respect that. So just approaching this game as the first time is what's going to help us.
Thanks, Terry. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
How's the spring felt? Different than the fall? Or, I mean, coming back after winter break was different, I assume, not having just spring practice, but getting ready for a game. How's it felt to you?
It's been different. I mean, obviously we're used to playing in the fall. I think all of us were just happy to get out there and know we're going to have a season this spring. Obviously it's been about 2 years since we've played our last game before the spring, but it was just exciting to look forward to this spring season. And now we're 3 games in. So.
Hey, Tyreek, were there any significant adjustments between 2019 and 2021 now, given the change in coordinators? Were there a lot of different approaches to the way you guys do things, or it's essentially the same setup?
It's essentially the same. I mean, I know Coach Wood always harps on us about executing at a high level, being a dominant defense, being physical, and just running to the football. That's our 3 core things. But nothing much has changed, schematically. It's around the same thing. So,
thank you.
Yep.
So I think we talked about this, but refresh my memory. What was your thought process on the interception the other day, and the fact that you guys got 3 of them, and Coach had talked most of the week about the next step for the defense was turnovers?
Yep. Yeah, that play, I was actually a deep quarters player, and I just happened to peek in the backfield, and I saw the quarterback look out at the number 1 receiver, and I said, hey, look, I think I'm going to sit on this route. And I wish I wouldn't have jumped and caught the pick. I think I would have scored. But that just put a lot of confidence in our defense. Obviously, Tyler had a pick in the first quarter. Then Xavier Marshall ended up having that pick in the fourth for us, and that just sparked a bit of confidence in our defense.
Anything else for Tyreek? Thank you,
Cool.
Tyreek.
Thank you, Tyreek. Russell, when Tyreek is being recruited and when he arrives at the University of Richmond, how do you make the determination on what side of the ball he'll play? Obviously, prolific offensive player in high school as well.
I don't even remember him on offense. When we looked at him right off the bat, we thought DB. So I can't even remember what kind of skill set he had on the offensive side of the ball. The recruiting part of it was pretty weird with him too. And Bob, maybe I'll save this for the web. I'm gonna save it for the web.
Thank you, Russ. An exclusive for Behind the Well. John is showing disdain, Russ. You might maybe fill him in a little bit.
Sorry,
I don't want John on our bad side.
We were looking for speed on the defensive side of the ball, and he could run. So there was never a question he was going to be a defensive player for us. I guess he told you he was a good offensive player.
Well, I've seen it with my own eyes, Coach, in the huddle tapes. So
yeah, I guess so then.
How would you assess the performance of that secondary in which he's one of the older guys, really, which is weird?
They've done a nice job. Obviously, Tyreek's done a great job this spring so far. He's been really good. Every day in practice, he's looked good. He's making plays on the ball, very athletic. Really, he's doing what we thought he could do and more. And then the rest of the secondary, I mean, they're doing a nice job. I mean, we're playing, I think 7 guys total in the secondary, and they're all getting their snaps, and, most of them are doing a really nice job and making plays. And so it's a good group back there.
Coach, is there a time where you've turned the corner sufficiently that you can start thinking about the playoffs and your players can, or you're not going to allow that to happen at this time?
We're just scrambling to get ready for Elon. Even though you played them the last time out, it almost feels like it feels like it's a brand new day. Trying to figure out any kind of changes that they're going to make and those types of things. So, it's been a scramble. We gotta focus on practicing and getting ready this week to win a game on Saturday. And that's as far as you can even think.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Russ, when we talked to Chris, the second game, when they play an opponent a second time in a season, we always say the team that lost the first game has the advantage because they know what they need to correct. Do you feel that way? Is it going to be a little bit tougher to play Elon a second time because of something like that, do you think?
I don't know. I've never been through it before. I mean, this is something that's new. I don't know. They've got 2 games on us. We've got 5 games on them. It's all going to come down to execution. I mean, the first game, they turned the ball over 3 times and we scored 21 points off of it. And that's the difference in the game. And so it'll come down to, hanging on to the football and special teams play potentially. And, they've got talented players, and that's the way all these games come down to. It's hang on to the football. We've been pretty good on third downs offensively, and we got to continue that trend too. We've put together some long drives here in these first 2 games, and, that helps the defense out, obviously. But I don't know who has an advantage, to be honest with you.
You've lost 1 game. Well, you had 1 game postponed. JMU had 2. VCU just got sent home from the tournament. I mean, does your anxiety amp up in the last 2 weeks with all these reminders of how close this virus is? And do you have to bring any of that up to your kids? Just a daily reminder, please do what we're asking you to do. Every day,
mask up, social distance, do things the right way, take care of your bodies. Every day after practice, I say it to them. It's something that's ingrained. We test every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I told the team today after practice, and they laughed. I said, I sit in my chair. And I know right around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, our trainer, Joe Olivedati, is going to call me. And he's going to say, here's where we are. And normally you get everybody back. Sometimes there's 5 or 6 that aren't back yet. But I have a good feel on Wednesday nights. Just wait for that phone call or text. And so, yes, it is anxiety. When you sit in a chair and just wait for that one phone call every Wednesday night, I'm thinking about it as it leads up to it every day.
Did you guys do anything special with the extra week off that you weren't expecting? Did you get to work on anything, or was it really more just an extra rest you weren't planning on?
Extra rest. And we gave them a few days off, a couple days off kind of in between. And our Thursday and Friday practice, we're in helmets and we're an hour long. Thursday was an hour long out there in helmets. And then Friday it was raining and miserable out there. And we were going to go out in helmets for an hour. And I just said, no, I said, we're going to walk through in the gym. And I'm not sending them out there. So we walked through. So yes, it was the big part of it was to get a rest. We didn't try to work on any other things. We're playing everybody. So it's not like, sometimes in these open weeks, you go out there and you say, all right, get all the young kids reps. Well, all the young kids are getting reps every day. And so it's not like we can do that. So, it was really just like you said, just to maybe get them a rest, get them a break from football.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach
Russ,
Huseman, Justin Jasper is among those young receivers with the door sort of open to them now, and he took a step through it at Elon, obviously with that TD catch. Could you assess his progress as a regular in that rotation?
Well, you say one of those young ones, but he seems old to me right now. I mean, just it seems like we've had him forever here, I guess. So he actually is an older guy, even though he's got plenty of years left to play for us. But yeah, I mean, Justin, he gets better every year. He's talented. He's always had athletic ability. He's learning the play to position. You could just see great strides in him. I was glad to see him get the touchdown catch in the Elon game. And I mean, we're going to continue to, we've got 5 wideouts, 6 that we're going to spread it around. And, we're not looking for a star and a guy to catch 15 to 20 passes a game. We're going to make sure we spread the wealth and Joe gets to who he's supposed to get it to. But Justin's done a really nice job for us. We're glad to have him.
Thank you.
I think you addressed this the other morning, maybe, Russ. Not so much playing them a second time, but hey, they're 1-3 now and 0-2 in the league, so it's highly unlikely they're going to advance. How much have you addressed with your team to expect the unexpected this week, that they could throw things at your guys that you had no earthly idea you could prepare for?
Well, we try to prepare like that, we're always trying to think outside the box, that this is what could happen. That's a really good point. I mean, those things, double reverse passes, onside kicks, fake punts, all the things that you're kind of afraid to do because if they backfire. But I think Elon wants to compete and wants to win a game, and they're going to do whatever they got to do to win a game. And if that's traditional, and do the things they do, or if it's thinking outside the box and throwing some wrinkles, if they throw wrinkles at you, you just got to adjust. I mean, it could be something we hadn't seen before, and you got to adjust. You got to get on the sideline. You got to get it figured out. I hope that all the fundamentals and the techniques and the rules that you have in place as to how to defend things, show up in games, whether it's the Elon game, whether it's the 9th game of the season in the fall against a team that's 1-8. You always got to be prepared, for the unexpected and try to adjust. And you hope your guys, can fix it on a fly. I remember playing when I was at Chattanooga, we were playing VMI and we ran a play that they hadn't seen, a little toss sweep into the boundary. And, it went for 9. And I told Durden, I said, run it again. He ran again, went for 9. I said, run it again. He ran it again, went for 8. I said, run it again, went for 8. They didn't have time to adjust. Now, the next time we ran in a game, it went for nothing. But they didn't have the ability to adjust to that thing, and that's what happens. You hope you got good enough players that, all right, they're in the same formation, looking at the same thing. All right, I'm going to probably cheat over here and maybe get something done without having my coaches fix it on the sideline. But a lot of things happen during the course of a game that you got to adjust to, and sometimes it's sideline, sometimes it's halftime, sometimes these guys will fix it, right after they see it during the series.
Anything else?
Hey, Lane, when's your Kobe Turner piece going to come out?
Tomorrow night at 11.
Cool. I'm going to get
I'll make sure you all get a link.
I won't be up at 11 o'clock, so
I may not be either.
I'll record it.
Yeah, Matt will get it to me.
I'll make sure I get you a link.
Thank you. Good seeing you guys.
See ya.